a nice meal too, because it'll be nice to be with reheat.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm a call firefighter, and today we're going to be cooking from the Firehouse. This is Tim. He's a firefighter too, and we have our nutritionist, Annessa. Annessa, why don't you tell us about some of this food we're going to be using
All
today?
right, well today we are going to make some delicious breakfast grub, and it's going to be hearty enough for these firemen, but healthy enough for you and your family. We're going to make Southwestern breakfast casserole, we're going to make Tim's fiery salsa, and we're going to make a Firehouse fruit salad. Now, all of us are trying to get healthy and fit, so we've got 3 swap out tips that we're going to use in our recipes today, and you can use at home for you and your family. The first thing, for our Southwestern breakfast casserole, many people would use a processed cheese. One of my first rules for getting healthy is closer to the farm, the better. So that means the more processed, the worse. So Tim, let's ditch this cheese, and instead we're gonna use a shredded 2% cheese. Now, 2% cheese just means it's made from 2% milk. Think of it like that. So it's gonna be lower in fat, but taste exactly the same. It's gonna be healthy for you and your family, and for us too. All right, so secondly, in our breakfast casserole, a lot of people would use a regular pork sausage. Pork sausage has about 20 grams of fat, 2 ounces. That's a lot. So instead of using that, Sean, we're gonna ditch the sausage, and instead we're gonna use turkey sausage. By using turkey sausage, we're gonna halve the fat and the calories and increase the protein. Nobody's gonna know. All right, and finally, in our fruit salad, most people during the summertime, it's so easy, I know, to open a can and use canned fruit salad. Well, if you look at the back of the ingredients list, right underneath the nutrition facts, you're gonna find that there's lots of corn syrup and sugar in some of these fruit salads. You've gotta watch out for that. So instead of that, we're gonna make our own, and it's gonna be healthy and taste great. So let's ditch that. Let's get on to cooking.
Okay, you guys ready to do some cooking?
Yeah.
Ready.
Tim, I'm going to have you start off by browning the sausage up, the turkey sausage.
Thank you.
Over there on the stove, and we're going to cut this onion up, this red onion, and we're going to put this into the sausage just for some flavor.
Awesome. So we're working on our Southwestern breakfast casserole. Why don't you tell them the original recipe that we had to change up a little bit because some of the stuff was not so healthy?
Yeah. Well, originally it had the pork sausage in it, which is really good, tasty, but apparently it has too much fat in it.
But you can switch out for the turkey and it's going to taste just as good, right?
Right, exactly. It still tastes the same. That's why we're going to put some flavor in it.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of coarse chop this up here.
And I'm guessing you don't care about crying while you're chopping an onion,
No,
do you, Sean?
I try not to cry anyway.
Real men.
Sometimes it gets to me. How's it going over there, Tim?
It's going well.
Okay.
Don't let him fool you. I've seen him cry several times with onions.
But not with fires.
No, never.
And sappy movies. He's a big teddy bear.
All right, I think that's good. Let's,
Perfect. So does that go in with our sausage?
yeah, we'll just go ahead and put it in right now. And I'm only going to use about half of this.
So
Okay.
what are we chopping next?
Next, we're going to actually break the eggs, put it in the bowl here, and then once we get those broke, we'll put them in the pan with the sausage. So we have some nice omega-3 cage-free eggs.
Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
All right, I'm going to tell you. Oh, it's kind of weird. You go ahead and start cracking, and I'll explain the omega-3 eggs. Omega-3s, many people have probably heard about those, and you might be kind of confused. What are those, and why are they making their way into my orange juice and my eggs? And you never used to see that back in the day, whatever day that was. Omega-3s are a long time ago. Omega-3s are healthy fats, and they're fats that we've got to get in through what we eat. Our bodies do not make these fats, and they're going to be used in our brain, our heart, and our eyes. In fact, last December I had a little baby girl, and all while I was pregnant, I was taking supplement omega-3s because your baby's brain is 60% omega-3s. So you're really going to help their brain development. And another example, my ophthalmologist asked me to start eating and taking more omega-3s because I had dry eye. And since omega-3s are used in your eyes, they're going to help them be supple and squishy, in fact. So not all fats are bad. This is an example of a healthy fat. And in order to get omega-3s into the eggs, because omega-3s are typically in things like salmon, walnuts, flaxseed. I know you eat a lot of that,
Yes,
right?
I do.
What they did to help them get into the eggs is they fed the chickens ground flaxseed. So there you go. Now you've got eggs with omega-3s in them.
All right.
And how many eggs are we using?
We're using 16 eggs today.
Okay.
Annessa, how about egg whites versus just regular eggs?
Yeah, you know, that's such a good question. The egg is, first of all, it's good for you. Back, you know, in the day when, a couple years ago, they thought eggs were bad for you because of some of the fat and because of the cholesterol. Well, what they found out is that eggs are the perfect protein. And so eggs are not bad for you. Maybe you shouldn't be eating a dozen of them a day, but they are certainly going to be good for you and for your family. Well, eggs are on my top 5 list. I know a lot of us are watching our budgets these days. They are one of my top 5 foods for budget watching. With everything that's going on with the economy,
Sure.
the eggs are so cheap,
Yeah.
and they're filling. If you eat something high in protein in the morning, you're going to have energy for the rest of the day. I'm sure you firemen, that's why you have to
Yeah.
eat hearty and things that are filling. That way you've got energy to do what you
Yeah,
need to do.
because we may miss lunch or dinner.
Really?
Yeah.
When you
we
get a
could
call,
have-
you just got to.
Yeah, we could have runs all day, or you know, a lot of times I sit down and as soon as I get to about right here, we get a run. So,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Miss a lot of meals. I know you couldn't tell that.
This is a nice meal too, because it'll be nice to reheat.
But yeah.
A lot of times we have to reheat our meals, so it's one that won't be too bad later on.
Okay.
Now this is a zucchini.
Yeah,
And these are very healthy for you.
that's right.
Are these full of nutrients? And
They sure are. They've got lots of nutrients. In fact, a lot of people with zucchinis will peel them. I don't like to do that because when you peel things, you're losing do you know what you're losing?
Probably some of the nutrients in
The
the skin.
nutrients, yeah, the nutrients in the skin and the fiber. We
the
all need
fiber.
extra fiber.
Fiber's very important.
That's right. So you
So-
go ahead and give it a chop.
I'm going to cut the ends off of this, and then we're going to just basically make half moons or half circles out of this. Man, it's pretty simple. Just go down the center of it like this, split it open, and then just give it a rough chop.
Looks good.
I love zucchini.
Yeah, it is. Especially at the end of the summer when there's so many
Yeah.
around.
Our meat's all brown, Sean.
It's
so-
all brown? Okay.
You want to add the green pepper, red pepper?
Yeah,
The pan.
the pan. We'll put the sausage in first, and then I'm just going to go ahead and dump the zucchini and the eggs because it's all going in there
Yeah.
anyway.
It's all going the same place.
And I'm going to cut up some bell peppers, some red and green bell peppers. And this is just, these are pretty mild, I think. Some people think they're hot, but I don't know, maybe I'm just used to hot food at the Firehouse. But really the heat is in the seeds. So we'll try to keep the seeds out. But
And you can throw those into just about anything, can't you?
yeah, they're versatile. And they're good by themselves. Just to,
I like them raw. I
Oh, you do?
I cut them in slices and
Just
I love
eat
them.
away?
I do.
Maybe
Not
a
everybody
little
likes them
ranch.
that way.
Yeah, especially the summer. That's the time to get all this fresh produce.
yeah, especially you can go to the farmer's market and get fresh produce.
Absolutely, yeah. Farmers
And all
market.
that's all from Indiana.
It's good to support the local guy, isn't it?
It is. It's very important.
And it's going to be, you know, when food has to travel thousands of miles to get to us, it's going to lose some of the nutrients before it gets here. So the more local, the better. And
Do you
Whole
want that
Foods
meat?
blessed us with all this great produce that we're using.
Yeah, it's
And-
very nice of them. Now the sausage took about 5 to 7 minutes on probably medium-high heat is what you used, Tim?
Yes, correct.
Just brown it up. It's going to cook more. It doesn't have to be done all the way because it's going to cook more in the oven.
And was that about a pound of sausage, you think?
Yeah, it was about a pound of sausage.
Okay. Good.
Can I borrow this?
Yep.
We're going to spread this out, cover the bottom of the pan, get it nice and even. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tim. And then we're going to take this mixture of eggs and zucchini and red peppers and green peppers and just pour it all in there.
And if they didn't have any of those things, they could still make this, right?
You can really use any vegetable you want.
You're right.
I mean, whatever you like.
I always like to, I know a lot of chefs feel like you have to follow the recipe exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm big on, hey, whatever you've got in the cupboard, in the
Right.
refrigerator, just use it. Throw it in.
That's what I like to do. I just like
Great.
to experiment, throw things together,
Yeah.
and see how it comes out. So we're gonna put this in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes or until it gets brown on top. And we'll do that now.
All right, well, Sean, if I can have you chop hot peppers. I have a serrano here
Okay.
and a poblano.
Poblano.
So, yes.
Poblano.
And Sean's a little better using the knife. If you want to kind of go over too that technique.
Yeah.
I'm not near as good, so we're going to leave Sean. He can kind of show us what he's doing there with the knife.
Now what we're gonna do is just do probably a fine chop on this serrano because it can be pretty hot too. The serrano I think is hotter than this poblano.
Do you know how you can tell?
No, I don't. How
Okay.
can you tell?
The smaller the pepper, the hotter it is. Like, you know those little habaneros?
Habanero, yep.
Yeah.
Of course, those are going to be the hottest.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
that's why the bell peppers are a little bit more sweet than they are hot.
And I am going to, once again, take some of these seeds out just so we're not having this real hot. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I've already pre-diced some tomatoes, what we have in here, and I've already pre-diced my onions. And we've got about a half of a large Vandelli onion here that we're going to put in there, and so we can just place those in now. While
you want
place
this
those.
in here?
Yeah, go ahead and put those peppers on in.
There's serranos.
Thank you. And then use just about a half of this poblano.
Half of it, okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that's important is not to rub your eyes after you cut the peppers.
Yeah.
Because once you cut this skin, pierce it, it releases oils.
Yep.
So if I rub my eyes, I'm going to start crying really bad.
Yep. The thing that makes the peppers hot is a chemical called capsaicin. And capsaicin is an antioxidant, so that means it's going to be good for you because you know what? The capsaicin defends the pepper. So if an animal comes along and wants to bite into the pepper, well, the heat defends it and keeps animals away. So when we ingest those things, it's going to defend us too. It does a number of good things for your body. And in fact, you guys might have heard of the local pain rubs. Have you seen those on TV, like called
Yeah.
capsaicin D?
Yeah.
That's what's in them.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Sean, can you do me a big favor? And
Sure.
I've got a pureer back there.
Okay.
If you could get that and just puree these. I've got two large tomatoes, one that's already diced, one that's not, and then we also have a tomatillo in there.
Tomatillo.
And it's just going to bring different flavor to it. It's a small tomato. It's wrapped in leaves. I really like the flavor it brings out in the salsa. And so if you can just kind of puree all these for me,
Okay.
that would be great. And bring a spoon. I don't have a spoon to mix this
Okay.
out here with me right now.
I'm just going to give this a quick
Yep,
rough
cut the
chop.
ends off. Yep. I have just an organic tomato paste here, and it's really simple. As soon as Sean brings me that spoon too, the top off. And just a little bit, just a little scoop of the tomato paste really brings the consistency to a thicker consistency, something that people are going to be more used to maybe from a restaurant or store-bought salsa. So if it's a consistency thing
Things
for
over
you.
here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even see those over there.
problem.
That's going to be something that changes it up because it's definitely
It's going to give it a deeper flavor
a
too,
deeper
won't
flavor. And so what I just do is literally a little goes a long way with the tomato paste. So just a tablespoon or teaspoon. And again, for me, when I'm doing this, we have a rough estimate on our measurements, but something you have to do while you're making a salsa, I think, and it also is a good time, is taste it. The whole time I like to taste the flavor. So we're gonna get that nice and mixed up. And next is gonna come just about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of lime juice.
I love lime juice.
So we just put a little, for me it's a little bit of a glop there.
And they could use fresh limes too.
You
just
can,
like
you can
squeeze
use,
half of one.
yeah,
Okay.
you can totally use fresh lime. I like to add a little bit of lemon juice to it too.
I always think of citrus as brightening up a recipe. It really kind of cheers it on.
Exactly. Then we have our teaspoon of garlic. And if you just want to pour that in for me.
Yeah.
And as you can see, again, for consistency, and if you're used to a store-bought, when it comes out of being pureed, it's going to be a little brighter, a little frothier. And
Sounds
something,
good.
Delicious.
something with the salsa, too, to get used to is the longer it sits, once you make it, let it sit for an hour, put it in the fridge, wrap some saran wrap on it, let it sit for an hour, and the flavor really starts to come out. All the flavors start to cure together.
They start mingling.
So now we've just added our
Yeah.
tablespoon of garlic. And I like to, again, a little bit of salt, and you can either use the sea salt or I like the kosher salt.
I do too.
And I like about a palmful, or just a small little area right here in my palm, which is about a teaspoon, but it's easier just to kind of right there with my hand. And cilantro, to me, that's our key ingredient to the salsa for me. It brings out the most flavor.
Yeah, and if people haven't had cilantro, it's just that herb that you have almost at any Mexican restaurant.
Exactly.
And you know what? I like to almost scent my home with herbs like that, like
Yes.
basil and cilantro. It adds just this earthy, wonderful smell.
I like a good palmful to start out with. And guys, again, on the consistency, right now, I've left it pretty chunky. If you like chunky salsa, cut your tomatoes into larger chunks, your vegetables. If you're going to puree it, like we pureed some of it, you can puree it for a longer amount of time, and it's going to become a thinner consistency. It's all what you like. We kind of like, I know, Sean, you like the chunks in it.
Yeah, I do.
I like it chunky. So we've left it fairly chunky. This is all set, Sean, for our
Breakfast
casserole.
Yeah.
Before we devour it all.
Yeah.
Well, let's check on it and see how it's coming in the oven here.
That looks awesome.
That looks really tasty.
Let me clean this off here.
Yeah.
Just dump all your salsa on that, and then we're going to top it with our cheese, and then put it in the oven for about 5 minutes until it's toasty, and we're good to go.
Use some of Tim's
Just throw it
salsa.
all on there. To me, the more the better.
Yeah, me too.
Tomatoes are one of the best things you can eat because they've got a lot of cancer-fighting nutrients in them called lycopene.
All right, and then we're going to top it with cheese.
We've got
Yep, and the cheese.
couple of different blends there.
We'll just mix it together. Just top it on. Should we use this whole package?
I would
Because
use
we
a
don't
couple
have-
cups. And
Okay.
so kind of eyeball
Well,
it.
this is 2 cups, so we'll use half of this and half of this.
Half
one.
of the cheddar. And so really, for a lot of people for breakfast would be doing cereal or bagels, muffins, those kind of things. Those are, not that all those foods are bad, but a lot of us don't realize how much sugar's in cereal. And once I stopped eating all that cereal in the morning, I felt so much better throughout the day. This is so packed with protein, it's going to give you energy throughout the day without all the heaviness of all those breads.
So we're going to put this back in the oven, again on 350 degrees for another 10 minutes at the most. Probably 5 to 7 minutes till the cheese melts. Tim, can you open up this oven for me, please?
Sure can.
Okay, next we have our Firehouse fruit salad. This is a really easy dish to prepare, and it's full of flavor and good things like nutrients and vitamins. And you can use any fruit that you want. Today we have strawberries, blueberries, some pineapple, kiwi, and grapes. So I'm just going to start out by cutting up the strawberries. And all this stuff you just want a coarse chop or a rough chop, just bite-sized pieces.
You know, Sean, while you're doing this, I see all the fruit sitting out here, and we just finished making our salsa a few minutes ago. And I'm looking at these fruits, and I'm thinking, you know, a lot of people think of salsa, and they just think of your traditional tomato, onions, cilantro type based salsa, and really, that's not true. There's so many different salsas. I mean, there's a mango salsa. I've seen salsa with blueberries. So there's a lot of different ways you can do salsa. And as I look at it here, it makes me think of it.
I love to use those kind of salsas on fish or chicken. Instead of like heavy cheese sauces, using those kind of a mango salsa on some kind of fish is, just delicious.
Excellent, excellent.
And in summertime, it's even better.
Yeah.
Doing some grilling, put some fresh salsa
Yep, that's right.
on top of your fish or chicken, whatever you're grilling.
You know, you're using all these strawberries. One of the things that I remember when I am eating or using any kind of fruit, a lot of fruits look like the part of the body they help, like strawberries. They look like a heart. And so you can remember that they're good for your heart that way. And like this one right here, it kind of looks like a heart. So strawberries are going to do really good things for your heart because they've got an antioxidant called ellagic acid. You don't need to know that. Just know they're good for your heart.
something you talked about was the cereal, and you eat it for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it kicks you on a high sugar and then basically drops you. I've been training a lot of guys here, and I'm a novice, but some of the guys who are really good at them are triathlons. And something that takes a lot of energy. And so I was wondering if the breakfast we're eating would be a lot better to eat before, because it's going to keep you driving throughout.
Yes, absolutely. Because when you're training, my goodness, every single muscle in your body needs that energy and nutrients, and it's just gonna. You eat a breakfast like this, Tim, and it's literally gonna go in your body, and every cell's just gonna eat it up alive, and it's gonna give you. Now, a triathlon, that is biking. What is
It's going to
that?
start out with swimming, then you move to your bike, and then you move to a run. Now, I'm doing a small sprint here coming up in a couple of weeks, which is just a 500 swim, 500 meters. It's just a 10-mile bike ride and a 3-mile run. But some of the guys, and something I'd like to work to, are doing what's called a half Ironman or an Ironman, which is a full Ironman is a little over 2-mile swim. It's a 112-mile bike ride, and it's a full marathon run. So
Wow. Now that's, when you're doing something like that, you're going to need a lot of energy and glucose. And one of the best places to get glucose is from fruits. So this is going to give you a lot of healthy sugar for your blood and for your cells, keeping with all those nutrients.
Now something too with doing all that, there's a lot of hype on no carbs or low carbs. But I found, you have to have, if you're going to want to do something with a long duration of time, I'm going to need carbs also to get you through. And what do you know about?
Well, what I would say, a lot of us, carbs are not bad, just the same way that fats aren't bad. There's healthy carb and there's not healthy carb. I think carbs are hard for people to understand because under the same umbrella of carbohydrates, you have a baked potato and you have Skittles. And those two things are nothing alike. So it's real confusing. But for you, absolutely, you need really strong, healthy carbs. When you're thinking about carbs, look for chew factor. So the higher the chew factor, the better it is for you. So obviously, whole wheat options, like whole wheat pastas. I think Barilla Plus is one of my favorites. And it's got those omega-3s we were working with before and it's actually made from a legume flour, but you can't even tell the difference. Make spaghetti for your family with it, and I promise you, none of those kids are gonna know.
So what we've done is chop the strawberries, the blueberries, I just tossed in there, no reason to chop those. And then the kiwi, again, just a rough chop. I've already chopped up the grape.
So about 2 cups, do you think?
2 cups of grapes, yeah. That was about 4 ounces of blueberries and probably 2 cups of strawberries. And then the last thing to do is the easy part. Open up some of your favorite yogurt. This is fat-free blueberry yogurt. It's very delicious, and I'm gonna need a spoon down there. Tim, can you hand me a spoon?
Yeah.
Should you throw in a banana, Sean?
Oh, yes.
You do it for me. I love bananas.
Yes, I will throw in a banana for you.
And those bananas, speaking of training, really good for your muscles because I'm sure you might be sore sometimes after you've trained, and that's lactic acid that's built up in your muscles. So
You want to put in that other yogurt, Tim, when I chop up this banana?
Yes.
eating the banana is going to help dissolve that lactic acid. So instead of a lot of fruit salads, people would use like honey or something else sweet. I love to use yogurt because it's packed with calcium and protein, and kids especially love this. Just a fruit salad covered in yogurt. They're just going to eat it up. And you could use it for dessert, couldn't you?
You could use it for dessert.
Something else that I like to add into this is Annessa makes a great granola that we've had, and I like to add the granola right into this. I think it's awesome and adds some texture and great flavor, the crunchiness of the granola, and I know she makes an excellent
We'll have to do that
granola.
recipe next time.
Yes, we will, and it's excellent in
good.
this. Oh, well, this is done.
So let's give it a try. How
Yeah,
about
it smells
it?
delicious. Let's
really
break in,
good.
guys.
Let's see. Let's cut a big old piece here. You want to scoop some fruit salad on that?
Hold this for you. Yeah, okay.
This just smells
It
delish.
does smell good.
Man, I love it. All right.
There you go. Getting ready to
Thank you.
dig it in.
Well, let's do this. All right.
All right, go
Nope.
ahead.
Sean, that looks like we have got to go.
Of course.
Guys, it's been fun. It's nice to see you, and I guess we'll eat this when we rewarm it. Enjoy.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks.
You better run.
Yep, we gotta go.
So they're off fighting fires in their aprons. and I'm left with all this delicious Southwestern breakfast casserole. So make it today, let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time. In our recipes today that you can use at home